So we're doing chapter 4 homework problems. Our first problem is number 5. Would you expect distribution of these variables to be uniform, unimodal, or bimodal, symmetric, or skewed? Explain why. A. The number of speeding tickets each student in the senior class of a college has ever had. Uh, I think it is unimodal. It's a little skewed to the right. Many seniors will have either 0 or 1 ticket. That's why it's skewed to the right. And then for problem B, player scores number of strokes at the U.S. Open golf tournament in a given year. It's probably unimodal and slightly skewed to the right because it's easier to score over the mean than under the mean. And then for C, wait till a female baby is born in a particular hospital over the course of a year. Uh, it's probably unimodal and symmetric. Weight may be equally likely to be over or under the average. The length of the average hair of the heads of students in a large class. It's bimodal and skewed to the right. Hair length can't be really negative. And then our next homework problem is 7. The histogram displays the sugar content as a percent of weight of 49 brands of breakfast cereals. Describe the distribution. The distribution is bimodal. Looks like two groups. Modes are near 6% and 46%. No real outliers. And then for B, what do you think might account for the shape? Looks like two groups of cereals, a low sugar and a high sugar group. Alright, so our next question is number 9. The histogram shows the sizes in acres of 36 vineyards in the Finger Lake regions of New York. Question A is approximately what percentage of these vineyards are under 60 acres? It is approximately around 80%. And then it says write a brief discussion of this distribution, shape, center, spread, and unusual features. This graph is skewed to the right with at least one high outlier. Most of the vineyards are less than 90 acres with a few high ones. The mode is between 0 and 30 acres. The next question is number 10. One of the authors collected the times and minutes it took him to run 4 miles on various courses during a 10-year period. Here's a histogram of the times. So that's the graph, and just the question is describe the distribution and summarize the important features. What is it about running that might account for the shape you see? So shape of distribution is skewed to the right. There's a gap between 33.5 and 40. The center we're using to describe the histogram is the median because the distribution is skewed. The median would be around 30 minutes. The range to describe variability of times for the 4-mile run is between 28.5 to 35 minutes. Alright, so the next question we did was question 12. A university teacher saved every email received from students in a large introductory statistic class during an entire term. He then counted for each student who had sent him at least one email, how many emails each student had sent. First question is, from the histogram, would you expect the mean or the median to be larger? Because the distribution is skewed to the right, the mean is greater than the mean, since the mean of the skewed distribution is located on its tail. Since the skew of this distribution is positive, the mean is greater than the median. Write a few sentences describing distribution. The shape of this is skewed to the right. The center can be measured by the median. And the spread is number of emails range from 1 to 8. Alright, so our last question is number 28. During contract negotiations, a company seeks to change the number of sick days employees may take, saying that the annual average is 7 days of absences per employee. The union negotiators counter that the average employee misses only 3 days of work each year. Explain how both sides might be correct, identifying the measure of censure you think each side is using, and why the difference might exist. So I think that both sides might be correct because the company saying that the annual average is 7 days of absences per employee is using the mean as a basis of the absences. This is larger than either company's claim because means are sensitive to outliers, so those employees who have an excessive amount of absences are impacting the overall annual average absences of employees. The union negotiators counterclaim that the average employee misses only 3 days is using the median as a measure of censure. It's smaller than the other average claim because the median is resistant to outliers, so some employees with an excessive amount of absences does not affect the overall average annual absences.